What's up, everyone? Vincent Gino here. I'm here with my buddy Destin Legare. What's up, Destin? How you doing,
Hey,
man?
Vince. I'm all right.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
so right now. This is the
Undying Mind, the PlayStation exclusive strike in
correct
Destiny.
For the Dark Below, which I reviewed.
Yep.
That's the expansion for first expansion for Destiny, and I was not super pleased with it.
Yeah. There's a lot of problems with the DLC.
Yeah,
I'm not happy with it either.
Yeah, I think we both kind of feel like this is not our jam. This is not what we want the future of Destiny to look like.
Correct.
Big part is because just the most important thing I can say about this is that there is such a lack of, for the price especially, there is such a lack of content. Right now, there are three. Aside from the raid, there are 3 story missions, and one strike, but 2 if you have if you're on PS4, you get this this other strike exclusively as well. But none of them bring anything design-wise new to the table. Like, that's my biggest problem, I think, with this, is that the raid, of course, has interesting objectives, and those continue to be the most interesting things about Destiny. But this particular strike in particular, for me, it's like me going down a long corridor, that kind of narrow corridor, just fighting lots of the same Vex enemies that I've seen already. Like this guy, the Undying Mind. I mean, that's an enemy type that we've seen tons before. He's just bigger and has an extra shield.
Let's talk about those story missions for a second.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
In particular, those are disappointing because this was an opportunity for Bungie to go, okay, fans, we've listened to your feedback, and we really spent a lot of time on this story and its integration into the product, and we made it special for you. Nope, none of that's accurate. You go talk to somebody in the tower, she gives you missions, and it gives you a whole separate rank-up system. And that's where this story falls apart. Not only does it give you a separate progression system that you need to work on, it locks out core owners of Destiny from content in the game.
Yes, which is terrible.
The first week this launched, they could not access the Nightfall or the Strike, the high-level content for those players.
Right, because those were locked to be the Dark Below content.
Yeah, those are locked. Everybody, and then existing players who had done the raid, Atheon raid in Vault of Glass, they all busted their butt, myself included, to hit 30. All that progress was wiped out. All those weapons are now lower than weapons you can buy in the tower.
Right, you can get better stuff
Yeah.
from vendors now than you had before. So it's like a huge slap in the face to people who put in a lot of work to progress their exotics.
This DLC broke a lot of the systems in the game, and it needs to be adjusted.
Yeah, I totally 100% agree. And just to double back again on like what you said about the story missions, I mean, they said this is going to be like a decade-long story, like a huge space epic. And
Let's head to the tower and we can show off Eris.
Absolutely. So, yeah, they said it was going to be this massive space epic. And so far, in the base Destiny game, we got just kind of, story exposition before with some talking, story exposition after with some talking. And that was basically all the story we got. And that was, a sore point for a lot of people. I did mention it in my original review, too. But I was kind of expecting that, maybe with the expansions, they would, like you said, they would start really doing something special and having more scripted events, maybe some cutscenes, but really just more during your mission that makes you feel like you're participating in a real story and a real world where things are happening. And none of that is the case. You go to those 3 story missions and you literally get the same exact presentation that you got before. It's just a different voice. It's just a different disembodied voice filling you in on why you're supposed to go to this place that you've already been to a million times and shoot more things that you've already shot a lot.
And, you have your intro cinematic trailer, but that's just a trailer pretty much that was released before the content even came out.
Yeah.
You can watch online right now. It's a really poor execution of the story elements. Of course, the sound design's still fantastic.
Sure.
And the gameplay elements are there.
Still great, yeah.
That stuff's great. But this game has become nothing but grinding, and that was introduced with this patch. To get the new armor and everything. Eris is up over there if you want to go see her up on the corner.
Oh, right, yeah. Let's show people the
new gear.
Basically the new quote-unquote content.
Okay, OCD me needs to see what you got at the Postmaster. Sorry.
Let's check it out real quick. It's
Gotta
probably
look.
just like a missing something
yeah,
I
it's
just
probably
didn't
just
pick
like
up.
you drop something.
Yeah, whatever.
So additionally, at the Postmaster, there's a new progression system where you need Vanguard commendations and Crucible commendations to buy gear from the vendors. So from the Vanguard vendor and Crucible vendor, you now need these marks. Another thing you have to farm to get, you have to farm bounties to get this.
Yep.
The Glimmer cap's still 25,000, and myself and everybody I raid with, all we do is go grind Glimmer farming. We grind for Glimmer.
Yeah.
For like, and it takes like an hour and a half to get 15,000. So I can't upgrade my new weapons because I don't have Glimmer. So I have to go to Mars or wherever, grind for Glimmer, and then I have to grind for marks. And now I don't have enough armor parts to upgrade my new armor. The game's a mess right now. It is a mess. And it was all introduced with this DLC and how they decided to... They're hurting existing fans.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very upsetting because obviously I really like Destiny, and I'm to the point where I'm ready to just quit.
And for me, I mean, like, you know, I haven't put in as much time post-game as you did, but I was really hoping this expansion would offer something, like, new and interesting that was going to make me kind of hook me back in, aside from a new raid. Because, honestly, like, if you don't want to raid or you're not into raiding, like, there's nothing really to do here. You got new bounties, which are not terribly interesting to go through.
Yeah.
They're mostly still a lot of these look almost the same.
They're new bounties for a new progression system, and if you scroll down there, go to the far right, bottom. So these are the new raid items. They're radiant energy and radiant shards, and one of the features is that you can switch. Like if you need shards instead of energy, or vice versa, you can exchange these for idols and whatever. But you need rank 4 at Eris to be able to do this.
Right.
That should be a rank 1, or that should just be unlocked.
You're going to be doing these bounties.
I have to do those
over
bounties
and over and over
so that
again.
I can... Everything they introduced is just new ways to grind. They introduced the worst mechanics.
Yeah, and the thing about that's really rough is that it makes these expansions seem like if you want to get to the next level, if you want to get to, you know, the next tier of level, like you want to get to 32 from 30, then that means you're going to have to engage with these new progression mechanics and just grind more. But that also means that if you want to keep up with everyone, you're basically going to have to stay up to date on these expansions, which wouldn't be a problem if they were really interesting. But they're not super interesting.
They're boring.
They're boring. So there's nothing really to do here that you haven't done before. And the only reason to kind of play them...
Recycle locations with new enemies.
Recycle locations.
With the exception of that one area where you go underneath the earth or whatever and you fight the same enemies you fought a billion times.
Right. So yeah, not enough new... so in summary, I mean, I gave this expansion a 6.0. It's still got the same, you know, great mechanics that Destiny had, but does basically nothing else right.
We didn't really touch on the raid.
You know,
we should mention that quickly.
I mean, sure.
Your problem is no matchmaking still, and they've said they're not going to include that.
Yeah. I think that it's a huge, massive problem. You know, me as a person who, you know, I'm not a casual player by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not a person who just doesn't want to put in the time in a game or doesn't want to level up and doesn't want to grind or doesn't want to be challenged. I absolutely want to be challenged. But the problem is that it's not even for me to level. I mean, yeah, I know at level 28 I'm probably not going to be super, super useful.
Yeah.
But the point really for me is that I don't really have a group of people that I play with regularly that's that large or that high enough level. And I also...
A lot of players have that problem. They message me asking me for help, and it's like, maybe sometime, but like I don't have time to shepherd people through.
Yeah, and then the other problem with it is just that if I have 2 friends on tonight and I want to just play with them,
you can't.
I can't do that. It's literally because the content is completely impossible without a full party, and there's no way to get a full party if you have a partial party. It's just I understand their reasoning. They keep saying why it's a thing that they don't want people to just kind of go into the raid and fail.
Yeah.
but that's not.
their design philosophy, and I think it's a poor design philosophy.
I totally 100% agree. I think it's a
Bungie
poor
seems
design.
totally happy with the community developing the tools that they should have made available to their audience.
Yeah, and that's just
and that's
not acceptable to me.
it's not
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, so that's kind of where I stand. Again, ended up giving this a 6.0. Destin, thank you so much for bringing your expertise, which is quite substantial to the discussion.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Vince.
And for the full written review and for more on Destiny, keep it locked right here to IGN.